Hey guys, Scar Tissue here, leading the engine company in another Final Fantasy XIV PvP video. Right now you're watching Seal Rock at the start, and what I would like to do in this video is explain Seal Rock to all those players who have not tried PvP in Final Fantasy or are on the cusp of trying Final Fantasy, but are wondering, okay, well, I'm coming from WoW, we have a lot of set PvP, what does Final Fantasy offer? Now, what I will say is, compared to other games, Final Fantasy does not offer a ton of PvP. However, we do have the Wolves Den. We also have Borderlands, which is level 50. And we also have now Seal Rock Seas. Now, a little backstory. Before we had Seal Rock, we had Borderlands. Borderlands was a set, all three factions spawned in the same location. All the capture points were in the same location. And everybody went to mid and fought at the same exact times, predetermined times, over interceptor nodes and the middle cores. So for the points. So mostly it was all predetermined, and it was really easy to figure out when to attack this, when to do this, when to do that. And it got to the point where everybody was kind of bored of it because you were doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Kind of like if you were in WoW and you did Arathi Basin. You have the same nodes that pop. You're doing the same thing. You're running to the same nodes, capping the same nodes, fighting the same people over and over and over again. Kind of applied with Borderlands. So in Seal Rock, what the game makers did is they're like, okay, well, you guys want randomized? Here you go. Well, now they have 3 different spawn points. However, they're randomized. You will go into a match, and you may not be in the caves. You may not be at the ocean, and you may not be in the north. So you know, it's all randomized now, at least for the spawn location. Yeah, that's cool. They also planted a ton of nodes all over the map. Now, these nodes are normally deactivated. However, they randomly activate and randomly, or not, yeah, they randomly activate. They don't randomly deactivate. Basically, the time it takes for them to deactivate depends on how fast you cap it and how fast you drain it and if it's taken by the other faction. So basically what it is capture the flag. These flags spawn up all over the map. You go, you capture it for your faction, you defend it until it's completely drained. And when you drain it, you're gaining points. However, if you don't have anything captured, you start losing points. Now, if you die, you lose 5 points for your faction. If you kill somebody of the opposing faction, they lose 5 points. And that's the way that points kind of divvy out. Now, you have 3 different types of nodes that'll spawn. You have your B ranks, which are marked by a triangle. You have your A ranks, which are a diamond. And then you have your S ranks, which are like stop signs. So the S ranks give the most. However, a double A will give more than an S. And a double B will give just as much as an A. So in this, we also have something that other games don't really offer, is PvPvP. You have 3 factions, and none of them are allied together. And I come from a game called RF Online. It's pretty old, but at the same time, they had this, you know, every set 8 hours, you went to the middle of the map and you PvP'd over a chip to have, you know, the glory and all the core and all the materials. So basically, it was a little bit harder because you're not just fighting one enemy. So it's not that push and pull of one enemy. You have that monkey wrench that just comes in and they decide to hit you or hit your enemy and help you, or, you know, they're the ones winning, yet you're fighting the 2 losing factions. It happens a lot in Final Fantasy. For example, I fight for the Maelstrom, and we'll get into a match, and what'll happen is we'll be winning, and all of a sudden we get sandwiched between both Gridania and Ul'dah, and it sucks, but that's the beauty of PvPvP, is there's that added monkey wrench. So teamwork is huge in this new game mode of Seal Rock. You can't split your forces too much because then you're not strong enough to defend against one faction. And you can't just sit around because you'll just lose points. So it's kind of that push and pull of, okay, do we attack? Who do we attack? Is it worth it? Because these nodes, once they get down to about 10%, the goal is just abandon them, because at the last 10% nodes, because you want to try to control 2/3 of the map. Because again, you're up against 2 opponents, so what you want to try to do is spread out, control the majority of the map, get the cap before they do, because if you capture it, it makes it that much harder for them to decap it and recap it. It gives you that added little benefit. So, and you don't want your points to drain too much. So the goal is at 10%, the point value ain't worth it. If they want to take it at 10%, let them take it at 10% because you're just going to gain more because they're wasting their time over there and the new spawn's going to be over here. So that is where this is kind of interesting, I would say, because it's all randomized. You could be blessed by the RNG god, who I named Bob. You could be blessed by Bob and get every cap. You could be in the caves and everything spawns in the caves. However, you're also cursed by Bob if that happens because you're just going to get sandwiched. So you kind of want the nose to spread out because you don't want to be just cornered the whole game. Because if you're cornered the whole game, you're fighting two factions, you're one, and it gets that much harder to win. So if you haven't tried this yet, please give it a shot. Please try, and please pay attention to all the shouts that go out in faction chat because there's a lot of people who just run off and die, run off and die, run off and die. It's not a death match. It's a capture the point and win because that's how we're gonna get the most out of our PvP and get our rank up higher, get our gear faster, is just by working together. And I've noticed a lot of this where we're not doing that. In the Maelstrom, we have our wins. Gridania, they have their wins. And Ul'dah, they have their wins. But it doesn't matter what faction you are in, I can tell who's spreading out too much, who's doing, you know, some kind of weird things that they really shouldn't be doing. They need to be working with their team because I'm telling you, when I go up against the pre-made Immortal Flames from Ul'dah, oh man, they steamroll. And meanwhile, my whole team in the Maelstrom is just like spread out. We're just getting caved in. That is frustrating, but at the same time, it's fun. That's the fun of PvP, and especially being in a 1v1v1 match. That's the beauty of it. I mean, you can get frustrated, but at the same time, you are not getting this from another game. You're not getting this type of combat right now, and that's where I'm kind of like, try it, please. And you know, a lot of people are like, well, why do you PvP in a story-based game? Because PvP, no matter what game you're playing, is fun. As a PvP player, I can't express to you how much PvP means to me. And I don't play a game just for PvP because I still want to do stuff. I want things to do, and that is one thing Final Fantasy has exceeded at, is releasing content and just constantly giving you something to do. Because I don't understand how people, you know, get in the forums and they go, there's nothing to do. There's plenty to do. You just refuse to PvP. You refuse to experience everything the game has to offer. So if you're a PvE player and you look at PvP and you're just like, oh, well, that's how I'm going to get my esoteric tomes. Please don't. Please come in there, you know, with your head on that I'm going to PvP. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to kill people and I'm going to try to have fun because that is the beauty of it. I mean, what other game, PvE story-based game, gives you the option to just go in there and smash people? That's where the beauty of it is. And I hope you guys appreciate this video. I really kind of just wanted to do kind of a tutorial video on Seal Rock and get something out there. There's not a whole lot out there for Seal Rock. A lot of what you see is, you know, Alexander and a lot of the raids because, again, this is a PvE story-based game. But, however, I do want to make clear that the PvP in this game isn't nothing to be trifled with. It ain't nothing to knock. It is fun, and if you just give it a shot, you'll see. You will see firsthand that it can be good, especially when, you know, your classes all have PvP skills that are added to your bars and give you an added little bit to your character, and you get to customize those skills to the way that you want them to be. You know, you can take added damage, reduce the cooldown, added potency, or added time. Depending on what you do, you can customize your PvP skills to the way that you play. And that is the beauty of PvP and these PvP skills and what these guys are doing in Final Fantasy, and I enjoy it. I can't wait to see if we're getting ranked arenas because I will be happy. I can't wait to see what else they throw at us for PvP. I heard a rumor about open world PvP, like a map, like open world PvP map, which would be just, oh man, I would live there. With PvP quests, I would live there. You guys have no idea. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you guys like what you saw, please like, share, subscribe. I will be doing a lot more YouTube videos for the engine company and trying to build this up. So I really appreciate everything. You guys rock. Scar Tissue out.